You're listening to the Youth Marketing Academy with Ghani Kunto. Stay tuned for your daily dose of insights that matter.
How is Starbucks like McDonald's? Actually, come to think of it, how is Starbucks not like McDonald's? I mean, both are big global brands. They're franchises. They have a presence all over the world. High awareness ratings. But McDonald's got a lot of flack for being unhealthy. I mean, Starbucks is just as unhealthy. My favorite item in Starbucks is Java Chip Frappuccino, which has 600 calories. That's more than the number of calories in a Big Mac. But you probably noticed how McDonald's got a lot of bad press for sponsoring the Olympics. It's the poster child for bad diet. But Starbucks? Recently, a 66-year-old woman came out and said that she has lost 80 pounds after a steady diet of Starbucks for 2 years straight. Is this a healthy diet? Questionable. Probably not. But somehow in people's minds, Starbucks is healthier than McDonald's. So it's incredible actually. The fact that Starbucks has created this brand meaning that goes beyond the product, right? And the fact that Starbucks is successful where many companies struggle or even fail. Look at mobile money, for example. Nokia spent millions in planning their mobile money. They prepared for it 3 years, rolled it out for 3 months, and they folded. Starbucks is quite successful with their mobile payments. Look at community service. Some people see it as a form of punishment for minor criminal offenses or, youth delinquents. But Starbucks created the Starbucks Community Service, and it became a platform for people who are passionate about giving back to the community, to connect, hang out, and basically, good for Starbucks, right? It gives the brand new meaning and new ways for it to connect with the community. So what is it that Starbucks did right? What is it about Starbucks that's different than these other companies? So we set out to look into this, and we realized that it's not the tactics. It's not the strategy, it's actually the culture. It's the corporate DNA that sets it apart. Here's Graham Brown, the director and founder of Mobile Youth, speaking about that.
What is it that makes us as the public perceive Starbucks in a certain way and McDonald's in another, despite having very similar products? I mean, they're both involved in fast food. They're both involved in, counter retail, but the differences between the products may be technical. They may be high calorie products. I mean, they're not the kind of products that you should be eating every day. But the point is that the public perceive them in vastly different ways. And why is that? So I think we have to look at beyond the product to understand what is the essence of branding here. And I think what we're finding, Ghani, is that branding doesn't happen in the product and it doesn't happen in company strategy, but perhaps it happens in company culture. And the kind of things that you're talking about, like the community service drive, I mean, that comes from company culture. That's not a PR or an ad agency idea.
Under whose job description is culture?
Well, unfortunately, it's not under anybody's job description. And just as it isn't under anybody's job description to make change in a company, but everybody has that responsibility. The key role of the CEO and the board in the company is to create an environment where it's okay to make change. It's okay to make suggestions. It's okay to change the culture or the brand template. And unfortunately, McDonald's business model is set up such that that can't happen. It's a very successful business model, but you have to ask yourself the question: do you want to work there? Where do students, where do graduates and talented people go to work? They're not queuing up, lining up outside McDonald's. So just because they're profitable doesn't mean they're necessarily a good business model for talent. And that's kind of really what we're looking at here: is where do young people want to go and work? So, to your question about making change and who's responsible for culture, I think everybody's responsible for it. But ultimately, you're not going to find it in your job description. There are certain things that you can do. There are small changes that companies can make at the retail level, at individual stores and so on, that can have an impact. And that can feed back into the the machine, and the machine can then sort of, turn that into a wider strategy. But the key is what are the top level management doing to create a culture, to create an environment where this can happen? Well, I mean, culture is what happens in every day at the micro level of the business. That's the brand DNA, right?
Mm.
How the the lady at the till, the man at the till deals with customers is company culture, right? And if you look at McDonald's, everything is very much templated. It's very much this whole idea, Ghani, of brand management that, this is the brand story and this is how it's going to be delivered. There's no flexibility in that, right? Whereas, if you're in a retail environment, what needs to happen is there needs to be a lot of flexibility there. I think to get that kind of environment working, you have to have a corporate culture where there's empowerment at the front line, right?
Culture. It's a bitter truth to swallow for many companies because it's a long-term approach. There's no quick fix, and one thing's for sure, it's not something that you can outsource. It's not something that you can pay somebody else to change for you. And while upper management plays a role, like Graham said, it's nobody's job description, but it's everybody's responsibility. Alright, that's it for today's episode of Youth Marketing Academy. I'm Ghani Kunto signing off. Have a great day.
Youth Marketing Academy. Get the latest insights at www.youthmarketingacademy.com.